everybody. So here's our first town hall of the season. These are videos where I'm able to talk to you personally. And you can hear through my voice, not just a text, more about where we are in the season, what's happening, what's going on, what to look forward to, and some insight and motivation for amazing seasons. So this is what I'm calling our competition town hall. I just put the competition schedule out last week. If you haven't seen it, make sure you're checking into your band. Obviously, if you're in the band, you're seeing this video. But the competition schedule's out in the band. It's a very important document. Put it on your refrigerator. Put it in all your calendars that you use for your personal life, your family life as well. But I also wanted to go into some information about where we are now, what to look forward to, and in preparation for our competition. So first and foremost, welcome back to school. It's a bittersweet moment. Summertime's over. We're excited for the athletes to go back to school. But we are sad that summer's over. I will say, way to go on a great summer. It seems like everybody had a really positive, fun, exciting, well-trained summer. And overall, with how the summer has finished out and seeing the kids go back to school, we're excited. We're really excited for everybody. So going back to competition schedule, I want to talk about the process of now the competition schedule's out, what to look forward to. Practices are first and foremost. We've been practicing all summer, but now practices take a different step to them, and that is attendance. So attendance is mandatory. Summertime, we understand vacations over summertime, family time over summertime, things such as that, but practices are mandatory. Practices are key to the success. I will say in all of my seasons of wins and losses, attendance has been a major factor in those seasons. So I like to say it like this: we practice 2 days a week. You know those 2 days a week. Those are traditionally Sundays and a weekday. And they are always consistent and always constant. Plan your days, plan your weeks, and plan your schedules around those. As you know, we only allow absences for school cheer events, such as mandatory events, or also illnesses that require an athlete to stay home, such as a high fever, that type of thing. We don't allow absences because of birthday parties or a stomach ache or a headache or grandparents visiting from out of town, something like that. Have your grandparents come to practice. See what amazing things that these athletes do. But again, remember, this is a team sport, and without 100% attendance, we cannot achieve what we need to achieve in these practices. So we always expect everyone to respect each other's times, respect their time, their valuable time, and their desire to be a part of this group that will be putting on amazing routines and learning these invaluable skills through the teamwork, through the repetitive dedication that we see through practices day in and day out. So once again, practices consistently mandatory as we're now into the school season. You may see some extra practices pop in and out. That's going to be coming directly from your coaches. You'll see that information. You may hear about it from upcoming parent check-in meetings that you may have, things such as that, but be consistent on these 2-day week practices. Next is going to be what we call our rallies. Similar to a pep rally, we do 3 of them. So we're going to do 3 rallies. The third rally is going to be our big grand rally. And these are incremental showcases where we're going to perform a portion of the routine. And we want it to be such as a pep rally environment, a competition environment. That way the athletes get to get on the mat. They get to get in front of a crowd. They get to get excited. They get to get scared. They get to get some of those emotions that you don't get consistently in practice, but you get them when it's different. And we want this environment. So mark them on your calendars. We already have the date set. You'll see it also coming out in a publication. That's going to be September 15th, October 16th. Those are rallies 1 and rally 2. Let me just make sure. So I have them in my phone. September 15th, Rally 1. And then, October 6th. October 6th is Rally 2. And then October 27th will be Rally 3. That will be our grand rally. So September 5th and October 6th, those rallies will take place at the end of your normal practice. Typically, we pull parents in around the last 20 minutes. You'll see that come out. You'll see that week and as we lead up to it. But just know those dates are going to be your normal practice days. But the last 20 minutes, we're going to bring the two teams, any families from those two teams in. In the last 20 minutes, we're going to do a routine performance. First rally, typically we do around the first 28 counts. Each routine hovers around 37 to 40, 47, 46 8 counts, depending if it's prep or elite. So you're going to see the majority of the routine, specifically through the stunt sections, potentially 2 stunt sections if the routine has 2 stunt sections. But our goal is to execute the routine, a good portion of the routine at Rally 1. Then when we get to Rally 2, will be the majority of the routine minus, say, the pyramid or dance. Every team's going to be at a different place. So some teams you may see performing more, some teams you may see performing less. We discuss those things and come up with plans for what's going to be best for their success leading up into the rallies and leading out into competitions as we get prepared for it. October 27th, that's the grand rally. We split that up into a morning session and a late afternoon session. So mark it on your calendar now to go ahead and expect a longer day on that day. Once again, October 27th, we typically do about 4 teams in the late morning, early afternoon session. I don't know who it is yet though, but be prepared for it. And then 4 other teams later on in the evening session, late afternoon, evening session. Traditionally, we're finished by around 6 or 7 o'clock while it's still light outside. We've got outdoor activities, food trucks, fun games, tent setups, things like that. It's a real good community gathering that we have. Lots of fun. But at that rally, we're going to perform the majority of our routine. Some teams may not do their dance, or they may not do, a portion of their routine, something like that. Every team might be a tiny bit different, but for the most part, we're going to be seeing a full routine. That's October 27th. Next coming up that you're going to see is practice outfits. Majority of you have your first practice outfit. The second practice outfit is still waiting to be shipped. Should be here soon. Once you get that second practice outfit, we're going to be fully, you'll have both your practice wears. We do ask parents that you help us and also understand when you have your athlete come home saying, I need to be in my practice wear. The reason is this. You spend a lot of money on that for one. It's a valued asset for us as coaches to see everyone in a uniformed attire as we practice. It's athletic for the kids to practice in. And when we video a lot in practice. We look at the visuals just as a judge looks at those visuals. So having everyone in a uniform practice outfit helps our eyeballs, helps us see transitions, helps us see the formations if they're looking correct and looking right. And, we perform in the same outfit, so we should practice in the same outfit. We work out as a team. So make sure when we get into those practice outfits and those are delivered for that second outfit, make sure you're wearing the correct practice attire. Get it into your schedule of every time after practice, you're putting it in the wash, so on and so forth. The other thing to look forward to as summertime's over is extra stunting. Some teams, specifically the older teams, will have mandatory time when they have to meet extra. Typically it's about 30 minutes where they're going to meet extra and they're going to work on their stunt section. Now that their stunts are done and their stunt section's done, they have their set stunt groups. This is extra time to get those reps in. We like to employ a strategy where we want them to be fully in control of their success and have a take in their process. And so we have stunt sheets where they fill out these stunt sheets. There's a QR code and they fill it out online. And Again, this is mainly for our older teams. Some of the younger teams are going to come in with a coach, but we're trying to see them go through a process, and we want to see where is the struggle moment. Is it consistent? Is it inconsistent? Those things that we see by charting stunting or have them work with their stunt repetitively helps us figure out the best process to coach them, to get them to a place where they're hitting their stunts, and not only hitting, but we're executing with really strong technique. As you may know, you've seen Coach MJ put out, and if you haven't seen it, she's got a score sheet review, kind of like a lesson on the score sheets. And it's hard. It's really hard to kind of figure out what are these judges looking for. They're their own animals. They see so many routines that they start to see it in a different way. We want to know that. We want you to know that. What looks good to us may not look good to a judge, and we want to know that. We want to make sure that we are looking for the execution, the technique, the timing, the flexibility, the body lines that those judges want to see, so that when we get to those competitions, we're not getting any surprises. So as you go through this stuff, looking for this stunting, you're going to start to see an evolution in these stunts. Competition schedule. So that's the next discussion. Many of the events that you see on the schedule are ones that we go to year after year. NCA we go to year after year. Encore, which is our own hometown big grand nationals, we go to year after year. Worlds, Summit, now Youth Summit. Those are traditional events that we will see year in, year out. Some of the other events we're going to be going to for the second or third time, such as Spirit Celebration now. Just last year, Cobra Kai was the only team to go to it. We felt it was a very strong event, and it aligned pretty well with what our goals were for the season. So now you're seeing us attend Spirit Celebration. Same thing as ACA in Fort Worth. We've been to it a couple times. We felt it was good for the schedule this year, balancing all these different decisions. We're excited for the schedule. We also have our hometown single day event in March. It's now called One Up Championships. It's a single day event. Last year was also a single day called Athletic Championships. But that's exciting. It's right here in our backyard in Rosenberg at the Epicenter. So we had a good time last year, had good judging. The score sheets were really good feedback for us. And it was nice to have an event that had a good production right here in our backyard, where we could all go drive 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get there instead of an hour, 4 hours flying an airplane. So we're excited about that one. As well as finishing up, we're going to be at US Finals again. It's a traditionally strong event. Kids love it. They provide great jackets at the end for our champions and for our novice teams that perform at a high level. They also get jackets at the end of the year. So it's a good, strong event. We always enjoy that one, so you see that one on the schedule. The other one, Palm Springs, for our elite teams. We went to it last year. By far, by the feedback, that was our most popular event from our elite teams, from the end of the season feedback that we got. And so we're attending it this year. I am hearing that it's blown up. So apparently across the nation, lots of people hear how great it is. And so I have this feeling from other people that I've heard that it's going to be a very large event, larger than it was last year. So we'll see how it goes, but again, we're excited about that one. When it comes to events, you'll notice on the competition schedule a terminology called state of play. A state of play is where these events require us to use their housing platform to book housing. And it rolls out in a process. It rolls out to the gym first. We select a broad variety of hotels or one single hotel, and then put it out to our parents. It's an inevitable. Some people, complain about it. I understand the complaints, the constrictions it may apply or put on you. However, for us to perform at these events have accommodations that the city gives them in order to put on such a large event. And through these things, with how much they work with the city, this is one of the requirements, which is everyone using this process, which is called Team Travel Source, going through their booking system. So once again, we've known the process. We know it. We've used it every year for these events. If it's your first year, you'll learn it this year. You'll see the information come out from me. Coming up, our time slots, it rolls out. So Spirit Celebration will roll out, ACA will roll out, NCA will roll out, Youth Summit will roll out. Those are all of our State of Play events. All of our other events out of town, such as Spirit Celebrate or Spirit Sports in Palm Springs, it's not State of Play. For Cobra Kai going to jams in Vegas, that's not State of Play. You can book on your own. But on the other State of Play events, you'll see the information come from me. You'll see the instructions come from me. Anticipate it the end of September. It's going to roll out in increments per event. Just to give you a heads up, for NCA, we do book one single hotel room or hotel for the whole program. And we do ask everybody to stay at that same hotel. It allows us to have a practice Thursday night for all of our teams that perform Friday, which those teams are all of our prep teams, all of our youth teams, and any international teams, which we don't have this year, but international teams. We will have practice that Thursday night, so that Thursday night practice will be at our host hotel. Also, it's fun for the kids to be in the same event, same location at the hotel. And if we need extra practices or space, we typically don't do it, but sometimes if we need to, it gives us the ability to have everybody in a single location where we're able to gather them. So that's the reason why we do that. Here's one other thing though. If you are going to be using an exemption, the State of Play has exemptions. The 3 exemptions are: I live within a 75-mile radius. I'm using points to book a hotel room, my hotel, for free for my stay, or I'm going to be booking under a military DOD discount. If you are going to be booking, which 75 miles is not going to apply to us when we go to ACA, Spirit Celebration, and NCA. However, if you're going to be booking on points where you get a free stay, or if you're going to be using your military or DOD discount, you may book now at a hotel of your choice. Just know that once the booking links come out, you're going to have to submit your lodging information to Team Travel Source for that exemption. But again, if you're going to be using an exemption, booking on points for a free stay, or using a military or DOD, Department of Defense discount, you may book now at a hotel of your choice. For NCA, just know that we are booking for a hotel for all of our program to stay at. If you're not at that hotel and you can't transfer to it, you will be required to drive to it for that Friday night or for that Thursday night practice if you're a prep team or a youth team. So just want to make sure I give you that heads up. The other thing with traveling out of town, we do require for all teams, if we travel outside the city of Houston, meaning if we go to Dallas for Spirit Celebration, ACA in Fort Worth, NCA in Dallas, Palm Springs, Youth Summit, we will practice the night before we perform. Book your travel as you're booking your travel now. Book to arrive before 7 o'clock. We always gather. We practice for a short period of time at a predetermined location. We don't know where we will practice, but traditionally it'll either be at the event center or at a specific hotel so that we can make sure the kids are gathered, the kids are focused, we're able to work out and get their bodies and keep their bodies and their timing in shape, so to say, because as we travel, things happen. It also gives us that chance to where we've got a little bit of time. If there's any hiccups on traveling, we can be prepared and be planned for accommodating to it and working through it. Just know that we do not allow you to travel the day you perform. Very important you know that. If you perform on Saturday at ACA in Fort Worth and you think, you know what, I'll just get up super early in the morning and drive, absolutely not. We do not allow that. We require everyone to be there the night before. This is a team sport. We're going to meet and practice. And the horror stories of the ice storms, I can't get there, I have a flat tire, I drive an EV and I just can't find the charging stations and it's taking me too long to get there. The list can go on, and we're not at all going to be putting any of our teams in a position to come into any potential situation such as that. So Practices, we always practice the night before we perform at out-of-town events for all of our teams, and be there. Plan on your travel so that you arrive on or before 7 o'clock to that location. Next, as we get closer to the events, so a detailed competition schedule of the event will start coming out only the week before. You may get a detailed competition schedule. You can see it online oftentimes a couple weeks before. Block schedules come out a few weeks before. But we as a gym will put out our specific detailed schedule the Wednesday night before we perform. I know it's last minute. However, competition schedules change. The times change frequently as we get closer to it. It's inevitable. It's always going to happen. And so we always reserve the right to put out our competition schedule the Wednesday night before we perform. You're free to look at the block schedule. You're free to look at the preliminary schedules. If you see them online, varsity events typically put them on their website. So you'll see those. But don't hold it as truth until we get to typically after Wednesday. By the time we hit Wednesday before we perform, no more changes are allowed, and you won't see any other time changes. Not a guarantee. However, it's pretty good, safe on that. You're gonna get, so we've got uniforms coming in. Make sure when you get your uniform, put it on. If there's any tiny alterations, get that done. You're gonna see bows. I know our hair bows have been ordered. You're gonna see hair bows coming out. Shoes. Remember, we are a white athletic shoe now this year. We will be wearing the white athletic shoes. It doesn't matter to us which shoe you wear. Rebel shoes are amazing. Varsity shoes are great and amazing. Infinities are great. Everybody has good shoes that they like. I do ask that you stick with the 3 best brands, which would be Rebel, Varsity, Infinities. Please don't go to Academy and buy a cheer shoe anymore if you're on a prep or elite team, and I strongly would want our novice kids also to not use the cheer shoes that you may get, say, at Academy any longer. Spend the $100, spend the $110. It's gonna last you all season. It's a great shoe for tumbling. It looks great. It holds up great. And yes, your kid's only gonna get 1 season out of it. However, when we execute those jumps, when we're executing pointed toes in our tumbling passes, the fitment prevents our shoes from flying off in performances. It's well worth it. So get your shoes ready. I do suggest getting your shoes now. If you haven't gotten them, start ordering and getting them now. That way you're gonna have a couple weeks of practices in them to get them the feel worked out, making sure that if it's the right size or if it's the wrong size, you have a little bit of time to readjust and get that corrected. Bids. Summit bids, we should have good exposure to Summit bids and Worlds bids this year for our Summit and Worlds teams. That's including our Youth Summit as well. We always feel very confident going in that if we perform our best, we should be in a good position to attain at-large Summit bids, partial paid Summit bids, paid Summit bids. We do not take wild cards. Reason is, wild card round is a day earlier at Disney, specifically for Summit. So for Summit, wild card rounds is a day earlier. We already take off enough days for travel already this year for other events such as NCA, Palm Springs, and things like that. So in order to prevent us from being there a day early and missing another day of school, we don't take wild cards. The other thing is I just never know if wild card rounds are going to be easier to use to get to finals or not. It's a big toss-up. Some divisions are, some divisions aren't. But in the past, we've only taken at-larges. We're going to stick to that. It's played us very well. We've been getting a lot of at-larges, or we've been getting a lot of partial paids, and I'd love to see, oh, come here, buddy. You're going to get Mr. Liam. You're going to see us. My goal this year is we need to go with a paid bid now. So if you're a Summit parent or a parent on a Summit team, yeah, our goal is to go on a paid bid. Liam thinks she can do it. Almost done with this, Liam. Almost done. Last thing, crucial. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Last thing I want to talk about is problem solving. So, practices, choreography's done. We're working through routines, tumbling passes, maybe doesn't get in the right spot. Maybe we're not landing a pass. Maybe, which traditionally the most common thing is, we're not hitting our stunts. Be a part of the solution. Don't come to the coaches in a sense of part of the problem. I want you to be a part of the solution. Have conversations with your coaches on where can we go and what can we do for strong solutions. Oftentimes your coaches may come to you with the need for solutions. Once again, you hear the term trust the process a lot. Trust it, but it's okay to have conversations. Some of our requirements: don't call or text a coach right after practice. Give it 24 hours. Give them a call, shoot them an email the next day. If you do call or you do shoot them an email the night after practice, which again, please don't do that. We just got done with a long day. Don't expect a response within 24 hours. We have instructed our coaches to make sure that every response has a brief period of a delay to it, so that we can think through things. Oftentimes we also ask our coaches to make sure, bounce some ideas off of us. Some other like-minded heads that maybe are not directly involved that can see a different picture or different avenue for us to make good, strong decisions on getting these stunt groups and getting these teams prepared for their best. And then, the last thing that we're big fans of is sportsmanship. So as we get into this season, as we get into competitions, start to develop a community in the waiting room. Start to develop that ability to say good job to somebody else. Start to develop that ability to give positive feedback to others and to develop a sportsmanship which is one of the aspects that this amazing activity cheerleading is all about. It's about lifting others up. So I encourage you to start doing that in the viewing area. Come into practice, watch practices from the viewing area, and try that. You see something good, tell their parents. Say it out loud. It creates a really good atmosphere that we want to expand on. We feel like we have it. We're not perfect, but we try to get to where we want to be, and that's where we want to be, and we're going to keep trying it. But once again, this is the conclusion of this video. I do want to say there's a lot of exciting things happening in our gym, a lot of exciting things that we see out of our athletes, a lot of exciting things that we see in our coaches, and where we're going in this sport and where we're going as Stars Vipers Katy. So from me, Mr. Liam here, thank you, and have a great day.